there we are. We are Adventures in Lollygagging. We are live, and we are playing Delta Green tonight, continuing our Impossible Landscapes campaign. We are still in Chapter 1, but we're coming to a close. There was some interesting planning going on before we went live. Moral justification of a variety of different ideas they have for fitting this operation, which is great. So before we get going too far, we'll do a little intro and like some summary stuff in a second, but let's talk about other things we're doing. So Avengers Lollygagging, hi. If you're watching this on YouTube later on, come find us on Twitch as well. We're at twitch.tv/lollygaggers. We play late right now. We have a couple different games that we have ongoing, Delta Green being one, Alien on Mondays, and then we also can be found over on the Free League Publishing channel, periodically playing Things from the Flood. And soon, I think next week, a few of us are starting a Worlds Without Number game as well, as we're going to be screwing around with that on Saturdays. So lots of stuff to look forward to. And speaking of looking forward to stuff, I look forward to seeing what these agents are going to do tonight. And so, who are you people? So Ashley, who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Agent Chelsea. I'm with the FBI. Basically, we have decided. And I lost my sheet.
Oh no. That means you're dead, I think. I think that's the homebrew rule. If you lose your character sheet, your character
I have
died.
it. I have
Nope,
it.
you're dead. Sorry. Swallowed up by the night floors.
I'm little Lavinia now.
No.
I'm
Different campaign. She's dead too.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, she is in a ghost hunting club, a member of Delta Green. And the last big thing that I discovered last week was one of Dare Bondi's journals.
Yeah. And in a New York police library, actually. So you were poking around trying to do some research last week, and you were able to find this old journal.
I spent the whole day in just libraries.
Yeah, it was a rough day.
Pretty great.
I was having grad college flashbacks, but you found this old journal from this guy Asa Bondi, who whose name you found in two separate places when you guys were wandering around the night floors. One of them was found by Agent Album when he discovered a couple pieces of a Chicago Tribune newspaper that described Bondi as a Picasso of architecture and stuff like that. And then you saw him. You saw a picture of him on the wall once, holding a weird bottle. That was also interesting. Let's keep it going. Long, who are you?
Playing Agent Vessel. He's the strong man of the group. He's part of the FBI hostage rescue team. And he's been running around with these guys in the night floors, but he hasn't yet broke his sanity.
That's true.
How
I was actually peeking at everyone's character sheets because I was curious who is doing well. So right now, three of you I think are in your 50s right now when it comes to your current sanity. Is that correct? I believe Album, Fawn, and Vessel are all in the 50s.
Yeah,
40s.
But so you guys are it's like Derek was saying, things were starting to fray a little bit. Chelsea is still doing okay, but maybe it's just she's hunting those ghosts all the time. Maybe that's what it is, because you're still
afraid
way
of
the heck,
ghosts,
still way the heck up there. I don't know how. We got to figure that out. Okay. And last week you went asking a bunch of questions about David Langford. So David Langford was a cable guy that you guys stumbled into when you were trying to leave the night floors. And Agent Vessel went and kind of talked to one of the managers of his cable company, who talked to his brother. Do you remember learning anything about that?
Yeah, they think he ran away like everyone else supposedly that disappears in these floors, and he really wanted to know, but I just couldn't tell him about it.
Yeah. The brother was convinced something happened. Everybody else seemed convinced, including the cops, that he just was that David just skipped town because he had two ex-wives who wanted alimony payments and stuff. So something like that. Okay. And then bottom row.
Said we killed him.
Maybe. You brought him, they decided
we killed him.
They decided to bring him to a building, a nondescript office building. Knock on the door.
Give him to a nondescript person and
large man. Carried him into the back of what looked almost like a empty or abandoned dental office. So I'm sure everything's fine. Bottom row, Derek, who are you?
So I play Agent Album. And before Delta Green, and when I'm not with Delta Green, I'm a astrophysicist, work with NASA. But now I've been losing my mind slowly with a bunch of people I barely know, and even the sanctity of my own van and tarantula is not enough to save me. So,
Oh dear. Yeah. And you consulted with your brother last week.
Yes.
Because you've been curious about the epoxy. He didn't notice anything peculiar about it as of yet, but he was able to give you the specific type of epoxy. There's a bunch of different companies in the country that use it. Nothing bizarre in the chemical composition that he's seen so far. But he's gonna dig in. He's gonna dig in some more. He has some things he's curious about, so he's gonna dig in. But yeah, let's keep going. And finally, Melissa, who are you?
I am Fawn. She works for the National Park Service. Her background is in archaeology. She's past her breaking point, got a new disorder, lost a motivation. Yeah.
That is true. Two of you actually have new disorders now, which will come into play at certain points, but we had 2 breaking points hit within the past couple episodes. So, yeah. All right. So let's get started. You, again, same summary. You guys are in New York, 1995. It's summer, early June. It's a Saturday. You all have been here for a couple days. I think you got in on Thursday, and you've been sent here to investigate the disappearance of Abigail Wright because in her apartment, which was filled with all sorts of stuff, there was like a demonic symbol that was uncovered, and that alerted Delta Green, and so they brought you guys all in under the guise of being FBI consultants to break down and catalog all of the contents and determine whether or not any of those things were of interest. This was also of interest to Delta Green to some degree as well. Now, while you guys have been there in exploring the McAllister building where Abigail Wright lived, a bunch of weird stuff has absolutely gone down. The tenants, the other neighbors, there's not that many tenants. There's only like 4. The tenants are strange, right? There's like some peculiar aspects about each of them. Thomas Manuel didn't seem to remember speaking to Agent Vessel. So spoke to him during the day, and then later that night had no memory of it. Also seemed to be talking to like to nobody when Vessel was like spying on him at one point in the basement. Chelsea tried to search through his apartment, but it was clean. Like she couldn't find anything, which is sort of like a very plain, boring, it doesn't even feel like a home. You spoke with some others. You spoke to Roger Caroon, who was like the oldest guy there. Everybody else was in their 20s. He was like in his 40s, science fiction author, which is confirmed. You guys do know the books that he has written. You have a connective point for his agent or his editor, if you wanted to name Carmen Wagner, if you wanted to tap into that at all. You also know a little about Thomas Manuel's parents as well, if you wanted to tap into that. I know you were talking about looking into like the tenants more before we got on air. Roger Caroon is on the 2nd floor. Actually, I can't remember. You guys have the blueprints now. You've got Louis Post, who was a younger guy who was a comic book artist. His fingers were covered in ink, but he just never showed you anything that he was working on currently. He only showed you older stuff. And then there was Michelle Van Fitz, poet, very mean woman, did not like cops, the pigs, and had tons of books and would not let you into her apartment. As you were exploring, you knew this was just a building with only a few floors, but after night, at some point, for some reason, starting on Friday, you guys went upstairs and you kept going upstairs. There was extra floors. You met a man named Mark Rourke or or however you want to pronounce it. There's a smoking lounge room. There were these weird pornographic pictures that Agent Chelsea actually thinks she saw her sister in, of all, like these old, like turn of the 20th century, like 1900s type stuff. You found endless hallways of like it could have been an apartment building, could have been a hotel, but it's definitely nothing modern. It's definitely something from like the early 20th century. And you had all sorts of bizarre experiences with clockwork figures that that seemed to unravel when they were touched, marionettes being dead on the ground with all sorts of different identification from the 1950s. You met the night manager whose the headlines in the newspapers and the photographs didn't seem to align with any sort of historical accuracy, and his accent was peculiar at the least. So there's just so many different things that eventually kind of drove a few of you mad. Some of you were in there for a very long time as well. It felt like hours and hours and hours. And when you finally got out, and which was not easy, when you finally got out, you realized just a couple minutes had passed. And you left McAllister Building Friday night. Got some sleep as best you could. Few of you did not do well with your sleep that night. And then Saturday, despite it being Saturday, you did your best to run around and try to get some research done. Try to learn a little bit more about the building, a little bit more about some folks. You found some books on one of the names, Asa Darabandi, who not only was a wunderkind Picasso of architecture, but also is suspected of having killed a whole messload of children. Disappeared, and I think was the 30s, somewhere between the 1935 and 1950, and his apartment was burnt down. They found a body of a child. They found in a bathtub, and they found a log book that seemed to detail the deaths of numerous children. And that logbook was something that you were able to access to a certain degree. You did some research as well at the library. Agent Fawn was able to find some books about him. Learns that he was from France originally, emigrated to the U.S., lived for a while in Chicago. Apparently, there was a man by the name of Ian DeCraig that he worked for, or that kind of he helped build houses for. Or thought houses, I should say, and eventually he found his way east. But you have some books that you were able to check out about him, and we're going to go ahead and start up this session late Saturday night. We'll say like 10 o'clock. We'll put us at the hotel room of both Chelsea and Fawn, because it's the only nice one, because Vessel is in some horrible place, and then Album is in an alleyway in a van. So all of you will say are there. We'll say Vessel just walked in carrying 2 plastic bags filled with various takeout from the neighborhood. You've got a variety of different pieces of evidence spread about the entire apartment, everything from the very first night you were there to just stuff that you just got today. And I'll let you guys go ahead and take over. What are you guys talking about? What are you guys thinking about? And go.
So Chelsea's spread out on her bed with all of her notes from the journal that she was reading, and her and Fawn, while they were waiting on Vessel, were like comparing notes from like what she read and what Chelsea found out about Darabandi. And like Chelsea's like, yeah, no, he actually killed like 30 plus children.
That's awful. And he disappeared and was declared dead by his family, but he disappeared. And
Right.
his picture was on the wall in the upper floors. So
maybe he's up there
he
still.
could be up there somewhere. That would explain the disappearance. Which, I
Good
mean, good
God.
riddance. Good riddance. It's not like we want to find him, but
Yeah, but Rourke, if he met Rourke in like 1921, and we met Rourke, like what?
well, and even worse than that is Chastain. I mean, where he claims to be from and the language he speaks, that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Yeah,
And
I don't.
we're talking to him.
So weird. I don't even know.
So
And
of all the stuff that you have in the room, of all like the different pieces of evidence and stuff that you've collected, what are each of you kind of focusing on right now?
I'll point at the blueprints that we Oh god. You say how David's the cable guy's story doesn't match up with Van Fitz's apartment.
Okay.
I'll point that out.
What do you mean?
When we spoke with David, he said that when he was going to cut the cable, it's like something to do with Van Fitz's apartment. He said it was like large or huge. He got lost.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
when we
yeah,
looked
that's
into
right.
your Show it's just a regular apartment.
Yeah,
Like,
it
we
was
really haven't
bigger
been
than
able to
anyone
look into it.
else's. Yeah. Chelsea would be really fixated on the French book she found that's translated into The King in Yellow. Well, she didn't actually find the book, but it was referenced in Darabondi's journals. So she'll really want to like try and find a copy of the book so she can read it herself.
Okay. You wouldn't be able to really do that right now, though. That's the thing. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
focus on like what is it you guys are like talking about or looking at right now, like right this moment. Sorry, my PDF just crashed, so I have to reopen.
No, you're good.
PDFs.
Um,
Don't mind this.
I don't know. We found so many things last week. I think the most exciting thing that Chelsea found was all of the journal entries about Darabondi.
Album. Sorry. Album's gonna want to drive back to the McAllister building and walk around the outside and see if other utilities were turned off. Because if people weren't paying their cable, then like it would follow that they probably weren't paying electricity and water either. So he's gonna just want to go and see like if the electrical box is powered
Okay.
off, if the main is shut off and get locked, something like that. So like a quick
Okay.
half-hour, 1 hour trip.
Okay. Go do a quick trip. And I would say that you would also probably remember pretty clearly that there was electricity on in everyone's apartments. There's electricity
Right.
on in the hallways. And
Right.
the sinks, the bathtub worked, all that kind of stuff worked at Abigail Wright's apartments. If you're looking specifically for like what it's like signs of stuff being turned off, whether or not things are being metered, you do in fact notice that like it doesn't seem to be reporting electricity. Doesn't seem to
Yeah.
be, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. So checking if the utilities like shut it off on there and from like the
Yeah.
outside of the building.
Your
Because I know I
suspicion
saw it
seems
on
to
the
be
inside.
your suspicion seems to be accurate. It does seem like you saw it working. The electricity seems to be turned off running to the building, but for
Right.
somehow the apartments still have it. Same thing for the water itself.
Okay.
You
So-
actually,
okay.
unfortunately, I need you to roll sand for that.
Oh my god. Never mind. Album just goes to bed for the night and you guys.
Sorry about that.
That's a fail.
Take a point of sanity.
Well, hold on. So with my anxiety,
Starting off strong.
I have an anxiety disorder.
Just one
So-
point. It's just 1 point, so you're okay. It's only if you lose
okay.
2 or more, and you're good. It's only 1 point. Yeah. Ooh, thank you for being honest and checking that out, though. Unlike Melissa, who cheats all the time.
So okay. So then
Just forgetful.
upon making that discovery, Album's gonna like race back to Vessel's hotel room and kind of like burst through the door, and he's just gonna be kind of manic and just like fidgeting and like opening his notebook and like flipping through pages but isn't really reading anything, and he's just gonna keep saying like this fucking bird. He's like this fucking building. We just got to destroy it. Like this isn't like this building's not right. Like there's no the power's off, the water's off, the cable's off, everything works. The building we just got to destroy the building, guys. And then he like looks at Vess and he's like, you have a gun, you have TNT, you got dynamite.
You
No,
don't.
we don't. I don't carry explosives.
You can try to requisition some, but no, you don't actually have to.
And then Album's gonna pull out his cell phone and hand it to Vess and be like, call your friend who works in demolition or whatever. Like this building's got to go. We got to take it out. Like this building's unnatural. Like,
Do you know
it's gotta go.
anybody in demo?
I'm sure there's people in my department.
Or we just buy more oil, like
Mhm.
there already was downstairs, and just light it on fire.
And then Album's gonna turn to Fawn and be like, I don't trust that building. Like the electricity works inside, the water works inside, but it's all turned off from the utility companies. Like the building will try and stay alive. We just gotta blow it up. We just gotta.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we gotta. No, never mind. Gonna make a terrible joke.
Oh. Oops. I mean, Chelsea would kind of. She's definitely on board with like just destroying the entire building.
yeah, I think I'm wondering what's going on with sort of the thought building and what happened in Chicago, if there was another building there. Because DeCraig had actually come up earlier when we were talking about what was in the box. There was something that had to do with DeCraig Limited out of Chicago, which we actually learned early on in one of our first sessions. And now that's coming back with DeCraig again. So I don't remember what was in the box that had to do with DeCraig, but
Yeah.
that's coming
The
back.
box itself was labeled DeCraig Limited or DeCraig Corp Limited, like, and then I can't remember
that was the
Chicago,
label on the
Illinois. It
outside
was
of
the
the
label
box.
on
Yeah.
the box. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm all for destroying this building.
Mhm.
But remember how the seal thing got peeled off the window and then suddenly we saw like reference to like the devil outside?
Yes.
So what if instead of containing everything, if we destroy the building, we release like just rapidly just release this everywhere?
That's the world's
Alternative.
problem.
No,
Alternatively,
that's a Delta Green problem.
Alvin will kind of just look at Chelsea while still fidgeting, and it'll just be like, alternatively, it would just be destroying the portal that maybe lets them into the world, so we could be preventing more things from getting out and causing havoc. Besides, there's other Delta Green cells that could be taking care of the things that get out while we just take care of the building, but this building's got to go, I'm telling you.
Well done.
Well, like,
I mean, we do have Chastain having things in his room that reference historical events that didn't happen in our knowledge of history.
yeah, parallel universes are a thing.
Because your sister was not in a porn book many, many decades ago, but she is.
I didn't
in
tell
that
you guys
building.
that.
Oh, sorry.
How do you know about my sister? You don't know what she does.
The bookshelves that I never went
My
over. and
sister's
looked at.
125 years old.
How do you know about her lonely friends? We don't talk about that here.
Our lovely friends. Nice.
All right, are there any other like pieces of evidence that are like kind of you're focusing on here? Because you got a lot of stuff. Like I did like an inventory of all the things. I'm not,
Yeah.
you know, is there anything else that like you're really looking
Lundeen.
at? Okay.
Like, just in general, like, he really needs to get like looked into because we don't really know we know a little bit about him, but like not enough.
Okay.
Did anybody else's foundry crash, or is it just mine?
Disconnected and reconnected. It's been having some connection issues lately. I think I have a busted mod, so just reconnect when you get a chance.
Okay.
Agent Fawn, you're the one who had the various books, right? That when you were looking at Asa Darabandi, right?
Yes.
Okay. You found a few different ones. You found a couple different books at the public library. Oh, yep, there it goes. There goes Foundry again. What's going on
We
there?
support our public libraries
Sorry.
in the 90s.
Having a lot of technical issues with my PDF reader constantly crashing, looking at... and now, apparently, Foundry has crashed as well.
Yeah, if I try clicking on any of the evidence, nothing pops up.
Well,
It's
mine's
like
just
delayed.
completely crashed. That's the wrong thing. There we go. 1 second, folks.
We'll get that
Anyways.
back up.
Anyways,
Well,
while that tries to go back up, which seems to be busted. So the question, what I was going to say was that you have a couple different books. You found The Devil's Craftsman, Darkness at the Corners, Architecture, Genius, and Mental Illness. That's the one that you learned about the Thought Buildings, 1905 to 1921. It talks about how he moved to New York. Talks about a variety of different things, but he was hired. So Henry Lundeen was a rich textile magnate, and he had hired Asa Darabandi to kind of work on a home or a building of some kind. So you do have some details about it. When you're flipping through it late at night here, you notice that the book, The Devil's Craftsman, because you have history at what, like 60%? Is that correct? Fawn?
I think we'll just say.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
We'll
but
just
I think
say,
it's high.
like, why not 120%? Why don't you just tell me the movie you're looking for? Sorry.
I think her history might have been better. Mine's 60.
I'm not back in yet, so.
Okay. Sorry. We're just having some technical issues trying to get back into Foundry here. But yeah, you would be able to learn. You learn a few different things. One of those is that like you find some photos, and one of the photos you do have, like you have a photo of Darabonde, so you have like a picture of him, and you do notice at one point there is a photo of Darabonde standing in front of like an old Art Deco hotel, and there is a big B that's emblazoned on each door. And the caption, it's 1928, it reads, Darabonde lived for a time at New York City Hotel, which he helped restore in lieu of payment. And you also read how apparently he was like kind of working on stuff for Lundin, and that whole in lieu of payment thing came up as well. You also went to NYU. So you are not necessarily a native New Yorker all the time, but you've lived here, you've been here. You would know that. Oh my god, I can't believe how slow it's being right now. Don't mind me as I log in. Everyone can see everything right now. I'm just showing everything. You would know that the specific like place where that at, like you kind of have a general ballpark of where that is in the city. It's a like reflected in the actual doors, a park. You can see a park in the hotel window with this huge flagpole that's got this distinctive stone base, and you would recognize this as the Eternal Light flagstaff in Madison Square Park. But I would say you also know very specifically that there is no hotel there.
Okay. So I have sort of an address of where it is, and I know that it was from 1928. Okay.
Then if you're digging into it even more, I can't. This is so annoying. Come on already. Come on, Foundry. What the frick, man? You also know that there were a variety of thought buildings that kind of came, like these thought houses and such. But there was one specifically in Chicago that was of interest. Most of the buildings that he built in New York, or that he started working on in later life, were just normal buildings, apartment buildings, things like that. They had kind of like historical flourishes for the day and age, but they weren't thought houses, like these weird experimental things. But instead, they were, something else. But one building though gets mentioned a few times, and it's the Bellafleur House in Chicago, which seems to have been built for a noteworthy family by the name of the Fitzroys.
Okay.
So that's really the only thing when you kind of start digging into the thought houses stuff some more. So talk amongst yourselves while I try to get this set up. This is really freaking annoying.
Yeah, it's going very slow.
It's not just going slow. I can't connect to it at all for the stream stuff.
So we've got a little bit of history with the thought houses in Chicago. Possibly get some information. Album?
Yeah, Album is going to be considering going to, like, I guess, well, I don't know if there are any 24-hour stores in the 90s, but he's already like kind of trying to write out like a chemical formula, because chemistry is one of his minor skills, to make some like homemade bombs, since Vessel wasn't sure if he knew anybody in the demo squad. So he's just kind of like manically thinking of like chemicals he could mix into some kind of confined chamber for a very large explosion. Also, I'm not willing to Google this because I don't want to be put on a watch list. So I'm just going to make up the chemicals.
Sure. You'll go to a 24-hour.
Yeah, I don't have bomb sauce. Probably just get some sort of hot sauce if I Google that. That's probably safe.
So Album in the 90s will go to a 24-hour internet cafe and look up how to build a bomb.
Not even an internet cafe. It would just be more of like, he would know the chemistry, because I think my chemistry is either a 50 or a 60. So I feel like that's good enough. It would just be like trying to get the chemicals themselves, knowing where to get them.
Yeah, kind of get them purchased.
Uh-oh.
So you're focused on our destructive plans for
Yeah, right.
the
Because
following day.
the evidence pieces that I had found, like that napkin with I think it was Portuguese on it,
Mhm.
didn't really yield. Excuse me. The mechanic thing in it didn't really give much. So like all of the tangible pieces of evidence that I have, we've kind of exhausted all information from them.
And of course, for all we know, it's the machine that keeps all of this going, but we don't know where it is or
Maybe.
what to do with it.
Is Foundry like borked because I got booted?
Yeah, I don't know. Mine hasn't come back up since I restarted it.
Yeah, mine's come back and kind of.
Yeah, everyone got booted. I'm trying to get it back up now, but
It's somebody I blame chat. It was somebody in chat that DOSed them.
we're getting DDoSed? What?
Yeah.
What?
What? Sorry, folks.
I read that
Yes.
as album consults the
Looks to be-
Antichrist,
looks to be
not
getting-
anarchist. I was like, what?
Working again, I think.
Anarchist cookbook. Chelsea Vessel.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm still sticking to the Van Fitz apartment and that lady because we don't
Yeah.
have know any information on her.
Okay.
And she could be lead.
Fair enough.
Yep, or there could be something in that room somewhere,
Mhm.
possibly.
So annoying. This is the danger with VTTs. Boy. It says it's loading, so we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see. Okay. So
I mean,
we'll
I can meander over to where I know that hotel is in the picture and just try to see like what was there, because that's something that's here in town.
there's no
Sure.
hotel. Like when you get there, like that's the thing you basically learn. There's no hotel here. Like you go there and it's like there's nothing there that would even resemble a hotel. Like there's just like the very like where it's specifically pictured in the photo, the reflections you're getting, it just doesn't make sense. And it has that Art Deco B on the front glass doors.
I don't know, that alternate reality kind of thing is looking more and
Maybe
more. There's buildings and places that we know those buildings don't exist, but there's pictures in actual things outside of the house that show that they exist.
yeah. I don't know if we should like investigate like occult stuff more to see if like there's any like guides of like containment, I guess, or like how to identify like a parallel universe or a portal or whatever this is, you know?
Like us figuring out what to like how to close Pandora's box.
Basically, yeah. You know, like
Option
when you're
A, burn the box. Option B, TBD.
option B, salt. So much,
Just a big salt
so
circle
much
around the
salt.
building.
Gets her that music going.
No, but I'm also not in yet. It's still loading.
Oh, that's right. You guys aren't in. Yeah. So I just got back in. Looks to be back up, at least on my GM account. Trying to get the stream account back up right now. Looks to be going. So try to log in now, and I think we can get started again. Hopefully, we'll see. It's trying so hard. It's like lifting.
It's
You're
just the McAllister building. It's digitized itself. It's
Oh,
already in
God.
Oh my
Forge.
gosh.
It's in the code.
It hurt. Yeah, it hurt
You
us
guys
talking
should have
about
burned the
it.
building down sooner. What the heck? Now our whole channel is destroyed.
Now we're fucked.
Well, I told you that when I was reading this this adventure, I started to see things at night.
No, you did not say you were seeing things at
I
night.
didn't mention this.
I remember him saying that.
Thank you. I thought I mentioned it. Like,
Were you
yeah.
sleeping in the guest room?
Yeah, I
with
was. Yeah, because we were
the big
like,
old mirror?
Yeah, and like I was just seeing stuff. I was just like I would wake up
I
in the
make
middle of the
Gabe
night,
sleep on that side.
3:00 in the morning. I'd get up, I'd wander around, I'd see some shadows moving and stuff. I'd be like, oh. And then eventually, like, we watched this other movie called The Empty Man on Amazon Prime. I'm waiting. I'm just filling until people
Yep.
log into
I
Forge.
hear music.
Yeah, you're in. Everyone just log in. It's working now. It's just log in. And
I just got the little loading.
and so I would see stuff moving in the night, and I know it's not Melissa because Melissa goes to sleep at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and so like I'm looking around, and like I'm like at a certain point I'm just like, just don't look at it. If you don't look at it, it's not there. Just keep your eyes down. So that's what I would do. I'd walk around in the middle of the night, just keep my eyes down the whole time. I'm just assuming there's some like crazy demonic like extra dimensional
It's just
entity,
shadow people, you know?
and I'm pretty screwed. But you know, whatever.
Who's the person that said when you gaze into the abyss also gazes into you?
Was that Nietzsche? I think
It's
that's,
something.
I think that's Nietzsche.
It's actually just Coder.
It's
Just,
Nietzsche.
you know how he has a wraith form? That's it. That's,
Doesn't turn lights on.
Okay.
Just-
yeah, he's just hanging out.
So that's working. All right.
Okay, I
let
hear
me know.
music. I see my sheet.
Okay.
My history was 80.
Okay.
Good
Yeah.
memory, Ashley.
Good to go.
Yeah.
That's all right. Dice are working again.
Where am I?
Well, that was fun.
We did it.
Hopefully, maybe I can edit all that crap out in the YouTube. All right. Hopefully everyone can see now. Perfect. Dice are rolling. Okay. Let's get back to it. So, you guys been chatting. We'll say, is there anything else? Anything like it's late? It's super late. It's Saturday night. It's midnight by this point. Is there anything anyone's looking to do this late at night, or are we just moving forward till Sunday?
I'm ready for Sunday myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any
Vessel,
other-
were you wanting to look at the build in her room tonight or tomorrow?
Oh, we can do it next day. It's no rush.
You can do what you want, man. You can go off on your own. Do whatever you like. Time for clubbing. Yeah, it is New York.
I don't recommend that as the one who went on his own when I got trapped in the abyss.
Yeah, but he's got a gun. So it's okay.
Yeah.
That's
Just
true.
shoot the abyss.
If I had a,
Start shooting the hotel walls or whatever.
Are you
building
kidding me? If
walls.
Album had a gun, he would not shoot other people. Like, he'd be like, I'm done.
Okay. Oh God, don't. That's depressing. Okay. So, are you doing anything tonight, Vessel?
No, I'm
All
not.
right. You guys retire to your various rooms. You go to sleep for the night. Fawn, you pass, and you do actually get a night's sleep.
Thank goodness. What do I
Morning.
get back for willpower for sleeping?
I think
I've
it's
never
a
actually
D.
successfully slept.
It's a D4 or D6. I can't remember. So you it should be in the help.
Okay.
Somewhere, but it's either a D4 or D6. D6 sounds right. So morning comes. What is the task for the day? So Vessel, you want to go check out Van Fitz, right? Do you want to do that now in the morning, first thing, or are you looking to do something else?
I'm willing to wait if these guys have like any information that they want to look up first.
Okay.
To get out of the way.
Okay, Chelsea, is there something in particular that you were looking to do today? Don't be vague. Be specific. What is it you want to do?
I want to try and acquire a copy of the book. I lost it. The King in Yellow.
Okay, but what do you want to? How do you want to do that?
How would I do that on a weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can go to my home office or like the FBI office and see if maybe
You want to access FBI database. You want
Yeah.
You want to look up Leroy Anjou
Yes.
via the FBI database. Okay.
that's what I think.
Where are you located out of? I can't remember where Chelsea's located.
Providence, Rhode Island.
You want to go
But
up to Rhode Island?
No, I mean that's my home base, but because I'm like a liaison
Mm-hmm.
with my thing, I can pretty much
So you're going to
As
go to
a-
the local field office.
So you want
Yeah.
to go to New York field office for the FBI.
yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so you okay, fair enough. So you start heading there. It's a field office for the FBI. There's gonna be people there. It's not gonna be as many as a weekday, but there'll be people there. No problem. Is anybody going with you, or are you doing this all by yourself?
If anybody wants to, they can. Otherwise, I'm cool to just go by myself.
Okay. So you go ahead and you do that. You head in that direction. Album. Hey Tombstone, thank you, man. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. 8 months. So awesome. So awesome. Thank you so much, man. Album. What do you want to do today?
yes. So Album wants to essentially make bombs using his skills in chemistry and whatever other sciences you would need to make a bomb.
Okay.
So he would have spent the night kind of just like racking his brain for different chemicals he could buy from like a hardware store or like a ye old Walmart, or I guess, yeah, it was still Walmart back then.
Chemistry. You got 60 in physics. You got 50 in chemistry.
Yeah.
50 in math. I don't see any reason why you couldn't. You even get, yeah. You got 40 in forensics. Yeah.
I even have something in microelectronics to make a little remote detonator. I'm basically going to pour chemicals around this building.
Yeah, I'm not going to require a roll for this. I would like to know what types of this is going to take. You're going to do a shopping trip today, so we're just going to montage it. We're not going to do say role play it all out, but you're going to travel around to various shops to pick up a variety of materials. All right. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead quickly and Google how to make bombs.
Really? You're really doing that?
I didn't do that because I didn't.
Well, now we know Jeff is definitely on a government watch list.
Right? We are.
Though we probably all are, because I was Googling FBI headquarters. Where is it located?
I have Googled far worse in my time than how to make bombs. I have.
That's
certain
true.
Things that are keywords, though.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna. Okay, easy enough. You could easily do this. It's gonna take you some time. You're gonna go to some hardware stores. You're gonna go to some electronics stores. You're gonna go to grocery stores, get some basic chemicals and stuff like that. No problem. That's gonna take you.
Go to a toy store.
Your shop. That'll probably take you maybe half the day to head around town to collect all that stuff. No problem.
Right.
And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because album's gonna be so meticulous that the way he envisions it working is that there'll be the initial catalyst for burning the building down or blowing it up, but he's also gonna want to buy enough chemicals to where he can innocently soak it into the carpet or into the wallpaper, so he makes sure that this fucker burns down.
An accelerant.
Accelerants, yeah, there you go. So
okay.
I listen to true crime podcasts. I know how to kill people.
I feel like you're gonna know how to make one, and I feel like everything you're gonna do. I feel like you're gonna know how to make one, how to do the things that you want to do. What we might end up doing, depending on how things play out, is that you're going to do all the things the right way. Then there's always going to be a little bit of luck involved, and so we'll figure that out later. Okay, and so then also Adam, thank you for subbing as well. Look at that, we got 2 8-month subs, like from the very beginning. That's awesome. You guys are great. Fawn, what are you doing today?
I'm gonna make some house calls.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go do some chatty chats with some people.
Okay. Who you want to go see?
I want to go see. So I've got Mike Sievers,
okay,
the agent for Post. I've got Cameron Wagner, the editor for Roger Karoom.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we had any other art life.
Okay, Cynthia LaChance is the name from Art Life that you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those 3 people I'm going to make Sunday house calls on.
Okay. Thank you for those bits there, Tombstone. You guys got a reroll. So one of you can use a reroll at some point when you feel like it's necessary. And then I'm going to cycle back then to Vessel. Vessel, what do you want to do now that you've heard what everybody else is doing for today?
I'm going to help with the shopping.
Okay.
Then I'll probably end up at the apartment. Abigail's.
Okay.
Sounds good.
FBI agent purchases.
Oh God, we got a hype train.
Okay, very nice. You have limited time to earn exclusive emotes. Okay.
I like emotes.
So let's Ashley, let's start with you.
Okay.
Let's start with you're doing some research on the book. You make it to the FBI field headquarters, New York City. It's not too difficult for you to get into the back, or get past the front. You flash your badge, you sign into it. People kind of give you kind of curious why. You get a couple questions about why you're there. But, do you have anything like persuade or something?
Um, I have my persuade's 40.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and roll that, and then tell
Ugh.
me what it is that Oh no. We do have a reroll, and now we have a second reroll from Adam. We have 2 rerolls. Players can't give themselves rerolls. Nice try, though.
Oh, I was
Mine's
just adding
just
for the
for
hype
emotes.
train.
We're just
Yeah,
going
yeah,
for
yeah.
the train.
Just do it for the train. We're 90% so close. We do have a reroll, so you can use
Can
one
I
of the
reroll
tools.
crit
Yeah, this isn't
failures?
This isn't. We don't. Yeah, that was a Zweihander rule. Okay.
Oh.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Rolling in the 90s.
It's not terrible. What I will say though is that the failure means that you're gonna get like held up a little bit. You're going to kind of have to sort of justify why you're there. There's going to be a couple calls then that go back to your home office, to your supervisor, and they're asking like, we have an agent Chelsea here out of Rhode Island. We don't really have anything on the books about her, and yeah, like there's just it more or less is going to be an issue of your supervisor's kind of going to get on your ass. You're gonna get let pass, but like your supervisor's like, what the hell are you doing in New York? Like what like you said you were on leave, like you were supposed to be on leave. Why are you here? And you got some questions basically that you might have to answer, and be like, holy crap, that's a lot of bits. Thank you, Tombstone. You are so very generous. Holy crap, that's a lot of rerolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You guys get 8 more rerolls. You got 9 rerolls because we have a hype train. We'll let it go. But again, you can only reroll once. You can't once per scene and stuff like that. So we gotta be fair about it. Okay. So you eventually get past. You get past, and you get into the back of, and they give you access to a terminal. And what is it you're looking up here?
So I am looking up a king in yellow, the king in yellow, to see if I can find the book. Like where I could either get a physical copy, or if there's any notes about it in the database.
Okay.
Came up in evidence anywhere else or some other.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you do spend. Okay, so you're gonna end up spending most of your day here, and very few and far between. But you do, when you actually start searching for the specific French title, Le Roi. I don't know how to pronounce French. I suck at French, but it's Le Roi en Jaune. It's a play. It's not specifically a book necessarily, though it's possible it's been bound. But it was a play.
Okay.
Let's see. There's the only things you're really seeing. Okay. I have to be careful about what I give you.
Play stuff.
I have to be really careful what I give you. Calm down. Everyone calm down. Everyone just calm down.
We
Don't
can't.
have stress.
It's too
Okay.
stressful.
Tell me.
All right.
He's smiling.
I just have to be careful. It's not always clear what I can give you, what I can't give you.
The level of deliberation is
all right.
distressing.
Just calm down. Shh. It's just the PDF. PDF's being slow. Okay. Okay, so you're looking for a copy. So I'll answer your direct question. Apparently, like as far as you can tell, and you're in the FBI databases now.
Okay.
And understand that is not like necessarily like Google. So there's a very specific type of information that is collected and collated within FBI databases, right? So governmental stuff, criminal stuff is kind of a hodgepodge of that, other points of interest here and there.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it pops up is because apparently the play was like historically something happened in the late 19th century, 1895, and it kind of like there's like sort of popped up and like some old kind of criminal kind of criminal database, criminal like conspiracy, kind of a conspiracy about like certain things here and there. But apparently there was like this horrible event that transpired in the spring and early summer months of 1895 in Paris, where just hundreds of people were just found dead or committed suicide or disappeared or murdered. And there's nothing causal connected to it, but it does mention like simultaneously while that play was being performed in Paris. Now, in terms of a copy of the book, you can't find any publisher information that this was actually printed. So there's no publisher information anywhere that you can find, like at any point in time over the past 100+ years, that a specific well-known publisher has ever published this. When you start going into the FBI databases and you start seeing some crossover information, maybe you do some cross-referencing with Asa Darabandi and stuff like that, you do see it pop up as well. And you kind of confirm some of the details that you've gotten from Fawn. But that's really the only thing you get with with Leroy Anjou. I'll give you one other thing, actually. I think I can give you one other bit of information. Apparently, there was an auction in New York. No more details than that. You don't have like the specific parties who were involved, but apparently there's like, it's become almost like a kind of a cult like reference in some cases, and it was sold. Apparently a single copy of that play was sold at auction in 1989 in New York for $616,000 to an anonymous party from an anonymous party. But a lot of this is being, like, a lot of the information you're getting is like, it's not really tied up with any specific crime. It's just sort of like conspiracy theory nut stuff, like, that's kind of popping up. But that's about it.
There's no like copies of the play.
Nope. Thank you for that.
Go to someone else. I want to think if there's any other questions I need to ask you.
Let's do that.
My only thought with that was like, so there was the play outside, and then a bunch of people killed themselves or were murdered. And when did Darabandi read that in the journal in relation to him then starting to murder kids? Like, did it precede?
Are you asking me?
The murder. I didn't remember if Chelsea, like, what the timeline of that was. If he read the book and then started murdering the children.
Oh, I need to look up the other book too.
Libro.
Secretorium Manifesta.
How did I say I spelled that again?
Libro.
Okay. Okay. Roll a computer science test.
Ooh, I got a good one. Do you want me to? It's 70.
I do.
Okay. 50.
Yay.
Success.
Okay.
I did it. What was it that I failed? Persuade. Okay.
Some weird stuff. Sorry, that my Foxit doesn't like the PDFs for
Got it.
Delta Green, because there's tons of images, and so it just crashes all the time. And so when I'm like shooting it down, so let's shift over while
Switch to someone while that loads.
While that crashes, because it's in the state of crashing right now. So let's go over to Fawn. Fawn,
Yes.
You are headed where exactly?
So I've got a list of 3 different people that I want to chat with that I'm hoping that they're home on a Sunday.
Okay. I'll presume that you're able. I'll presume you're able to make some calls, find some home addresses for some folks. You first try to go to Cynthia LeChance's office, which is at the Art Life building, which is not too far away from the McAllister building, but it's closed on a Sunday. You're able to kind of call the corporate, their corporate office, because there's some numbers and stuff on the wall, on the doors and whatnot. Call if you have issues with this, and so you're able to make a few phone calls, throw around your badge number, your ID, and say you're speaking such and this. You eventually get a contact information for Cynthia LeChance, and you show up on a Sunday, knock on her door.
Yep.
She opens the door,
person.
and you can see a woman, African American, late 40s. She opens the door. She's got like a Bloody Mary in her hand, and she's kind of looking at you. And it looks like she's got like brunch gear on. It's a second story apartment, in Greenwich Village and stuff. And she's doesn't seem very big. She's got some music playing on in the background and everything, or the TV. You're not really sure. And she looks at you and she's like, "Can I help you?"
Yes. Cynthia?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Agent Fawn, and I'll flash my FBI badge.
Yeah. Yes. What can I do for you, Agent?
Yes, thank you. Apologize for interrupting your Sunday. We're doing some investigating, actually, into resident of a building that Art Life owns, the McAllister building.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course.
Sure you've heard, of course, one of the residents there has been missing for quite a few months. Abigail Wright?
Yes, it's a horrible thing. Poor girl. Are you working on her case?
Indeed.
Have you been able to any leads or anything? We were all very concerned when we heard about this.
Yeah, unfortunately I wish I had better news, but that's why I'm knocking on doors on a Sunday, trying to see if there was anything that has
of course,
been missed over the course of the last few
anything
months.
I can do, anything I can do to help. I don't know what I can do, but absolutely, whatever you need. Do you want to come inside?
Sure, thank you.
Okay. Would you like a Bloody Mary?
No,
you
I
probably
appreciate the offer, but no, it's work day for me.
Right, sure.
Continue. So you're fine.
But she has you, and it's a pretty modest apartment. Nothing too fancy. She's got, looks like she's got she's got like a little record player, and it's just playing some music from like the 70s, 80s stuff, and she brings you like a glass of water, sits you down, and she takes a seat on a chair across from you, and she's like, so what can I do? How can I help?
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about kind of the recruitment process that Art Life goes through when you're looking to fill rooms in the
Sure.
building?
Yeah, it's a combination of some references, need. We also look for up and coming artists who are just looking for places to live within the city. It's very hard to make a living as a creative, and it's even harder sometimes to kind of get your footing in New York as well. So we.
Do you own other buildings? Is this the only building that you fill, or do you have others?
Well, no, our life. We do. It's a larger company. It's sort of a kind of our focus is on just uplifting artists, making sure that they're spreading culture into the world.
Sure. So you have other buildings here in New York City?
We have others, yeah. Not in Queens, not nearby. McAllister one's the closest. But there's others in around the the country, Northeast mainly.
Okay. Any in Chicago?
No, I don't believe so. Though I don't manage all. But no, I don't believe we have any in Chicago.
So how long has Art Life owned the McAllister building?
Oh boy. I want to say at least maybe 30 years now. Something like that. I obviously I haven't been working there the whole time. I'm not that old. But yeah, it was around 30 years, I think.
Okay. Who was the owner at the time that made the purchase?
I believe we purchased it from Star Corporation. It was just a holding company.
Okay. And who was running Art Life at the time?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know. That was before my time.
Got it. Do you have other individuals that you're currently trying to fill? Seems like there are some other empty.
Well, actually, the company is we're looking to push a big renovation of the building in the next couple of years, and with none of the tenants paying their rent, the company is fine just to let those default, and I've never had to do a full eviction before, but we're probably going to have to at this point, and then we're going to be looking to renovate the building over the next few years.
So normally the tenants do pay you rent, but this group of tenants is not paying you rent?
Oh no, they're supposed to pay rent. Yeah, it's low cost housing. It's not free. They just haven't been, and we've received communication from various utility companies that haven't been paying their utilities either.
And have you been able to speak with the tenants about why they're not paying you?
Yeah, they haven't been particularly forthcoming, and very easy to. They haven't been very polite. They've been kind of unsettling at times. We've sent some people there to communicate. No one answers their phones anymore, and. Yeah.
And what were the reports back from the individuals that you sent to check on them?
I went actually, and no one would talk to me. I don't have a badge. I can't really force them to talk to me, unfortunately.
Got it. Is this common with tenants in this building that they don't pay rent, or just this group?
No, just this group. No, it's been a little bit trying.
Can I ask when they stopped paying?
Let's see. This is we're June.
We're in August now.
No, this is June. It's June. You know, you just thought it's August. It's June.
Oh, sorry.
March, I think. I would have to check my records at the office, but I want to say March. It's been a couple months.
Okay. So we started the campaign on Thursday, August 10th, 95, right?
That's what I have in my notes.
Oh, then sorry.
Yeah.
It's August. My bad.
Okay.
That's on me then.
So,
June
okay.
was June 6th is when she was reported missing. That's on Jeff. I wasn't trying to screw with you guys. That's just me making a mistake.
I was about to say,
Sure,
oh my
like-
god, we went back in time.
You guys went back in time. Oh no.
What happened?
Sorry about that.
Okay. So sorry. When did they stop?
I noticed the
Sorry, I got
panic.
distracted.
It was in March, Melissa.
Like March, yeah.
March. Okay.
When the food is expired by.
Got it. Goodness. And I'm gonna start pretending like I'm kind of squirmy a little bit and ask if I might trouble her to use her facilities.
Sure. She'll let you. Sorry, I'm having more technical difficulties again with PDF mainly, but now Firefox is going wacky.
Yeah, I see stuff blinking out.
that kind of night. Okay, there we go. Back up. Yeah, she points to it and she lets you. Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to do a little bit of poking as I go to the restroom.
Okay.
Just to see if I see anything else in her house that looks odd. And I also want to do, I have really low human int. I have 14, but I just want to do some sort of a check about her candor.
Okay. You can roll human int or go ahead and roll human int or plus 20. I was gonna say, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fail.
Yeah, she's given you no reason to think that she's fairly forthcoming. And you go poking around, and it just looks like there's a small hallway. She's got one bathroom. You go inside. Doesn't look like she lives with anybody. A couple photos on the wall of like family and stuff, parents. Some old photos when she was a kid and everything. Looks like she has a sibling. Yeah, I mean, like nothing really stands out to you when you come back.
Okay. I think I will thank her for her time.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, Vessel, Album, you guys head around for a few hours, and you go ahead and collect a series of items that you could then use to make explosives. No problem. Where are you keeping them?
In my van, of course. You
Okay.
asked this like it's perfectly safe back there.
Yes,
Okay.
let's keep.
Everything is in Album's van.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean Quark won't mind at all.
All right. Then next question. It'll probably take you a couple hours to make them. It's a question of whether Vessel wants to stay around and help you, because he helped you do the shopping. You went to like a Walgreens. You went to like a hardware store. You went to a variety of places. You picked up you're like asked the hardware store for some sawdust and stuff. But like, Vessel, do you want to hang around and watch him make bombs for a couple hours, or is there something else you want to do?
Before Vessel answers that, I have the mad scientist look going on while I'm like mixing chemicals. Like my hair is just like, all frazzled and sticking up. I've got that wild look in my eye, and I'm looking at Vessel like, do you want me to write down how to make this?
No, I'll leave that to him. He can handle all that.
Do you want to know? You want to know?
Do you want to know my form? Jesse, do you want to know my formula?
I'll head to the apartment just to wait
Okay.
for everyone to show up.
So as you go to leave, Album, you get a ring on your phone.
Does the caller ID say who it is?
No, I think we went over this last time. I don't think you get a full caller. You get a number, but the number does look familiar.
Oh yeah, that's right. It would have a number at least.
Yeah, it has the number of the call, but it does look familiar. You can't place it. It is a New York area code.
Okay. Album will just answer it and say yes.
Hey, is this Agent Album? This is Detective Graham Giordanda from the other day, from Thursday. We met outside the McAllister building.
Yes, of course, Detective. How are you doing? This is Album.
I'm doing all right. I'm sorry to interrupt you on a Sunday, but I was wondering if you could get a hold of, if you know how to get a hold of Agent Vessel.
And Album to stall, and also is Vessel still standing next to me?
Yeah, he's you see him, he just left your van, like he's still in the alleyway. He's probably like, he's probably still there.
So like to kind of stall and to also get Vessel's attention to see if he wants to take the call, Album will step out of the van and kind of speak a little, like project his voice to Vessel and be like, "Oh, I saw Vessel a minute ago. Let me see if he's still around. If you want to talk to him,
fantastic.
Doctor,
Detective
Giordanda.
Yeah. My mother wanted me to be a doctor, but I couldn't do the chemistry. It's very,
Yeah, over here and say, did you say Detective Graham?
Yeah, and like Album will like kind of cup his phone and say like, Detective Giordanda wants to speak with you. You want to talk to him?
Yeah, he was supposed to get back to me. Let me put him on.
Toss the phone to Vessel.
I drop it.
and it
That's expensive. No, it's a Nokia. Those things never break.
Agent Vessel. Hey, this is Detective Giordanda. Still working on the search warrants. Hopefully, we'll have something at the beginning of the week. But I'm calling for another reason. Sorry about this. I don't mean to pry, but precinct got some calls last night, and from an Ian Langford, and then he came down this morning, and he was like kind of raising hell a bit. He said you went to speak with him, that you knew something about his brother. Could you enlighten me a little bit about this?
Yeah, I did meet up with him after getting his contact from the cable company.
Right. Again, I don't want to question, how you do your business, but Dave, from our records, David Langford's a cable guy who skipped town for alimony. Do you think there's some kind of connection with Abigail? You think is there something we should know?
It's just that we've found his name and we're looking at the building. He said he wasn't.
You're right. No, that's true. He serviced the building. We also have that, but the timeline didn't quite add up with us. He seemed to disappear before Abigail was reported missing by a couple months. So I was just curious, what's your angle on this, and if to be honest, my captain's kind of giving me some shit this morning, because Ian was giving us a little shit this morning, and it's a Sunday. He doesn't like getting phone calls on Sunday. My boss, you know how it is. So, could you just kind of like walk me through it, maybe? How they're connected? How this works?
Okay. I'll explain to him. Let's see, what can I explain to him?
I don't know. Tell me.
I'm the FBI. It's none of your damn business.
It's being very friendly.
I'll just let him know that his name came up just because it was connected to the building. We're looking into it, and that we just wanted some sort of lead into it. Nothing more, like nothing about how we met him at all.
Yeah, leave no lead unturned.
Sure. Again, I don't want to question, your process, but it was my understanding that you were supposed to deconstruct Abigail's apartment and kind of look through there. Did his name come up in some of the materials in her apartment? Is that what you're trying to say? Is it a new piece of evidence? Something?
No, nothing like that happened.
So I guess I'm just curious, like, why you would be investigating him enough to go see his brother, and brother seems to be under the assumption that you know where he's at.
It's very similar to Abigail's case. They both were part of the building. They both gone missing. That's all I got.
Right. We don't actually have a last known location. So are you saying that there's okay. All right, that's interesting. And how did you find his name again?
I didn't.
We did get his ID out of his pocket.
What do I have?
we just found his ID in the building. Strange. Sorry,
And
no metagaming.
truthful, actually.
I mean, you're with me here. You can probably overhear this.
Album is just watching you just like shaking chemicals around. He has no idea what's going on.
He's making a bomb while you talk to a New York City police detective and trying to come up
We
with a
actually
lie.
have this physical ID, or is that?
Yeah, one of you stole his. You got his wallet and took his ID.
We successfully pickpocketed him.
It's just, you were supposed to. As far as I can send it, you were breaking down the apartment.
Yeah.
Let's just say we found. I'll just say we found his wallet in the apartment.
That's okay. Well, that's
like epoxy to the wall.
That's interesting. again, I don't want to question your methods, but if you could give me a heads up next time, I feel like we're gonna have to reopen that Langford case now. If we did not have him marked as a missing persons. Okay. No, it's fine. I'll let my captain know. Okay. Well, is there anything else you found with Langford that? Oh boy. You have 2 missing people from the same building. This might be connected. Okay.
Can you get me more on this Van Fitz fella? She's that crabby lady.
Sure. Is she? Do you think she's responsible for the disappearance of?
No, it's just like we're trying to ask her, but she's really non-compliant.
Yeah, you really got to strong arm her a bit. She's not very. She kept calling us pigs, and this is fine, but you know. But yeah, a poet. I think. Yeah, that's gonna pay bills. And she's a very thorough, a very impressive book collection. It was not easy for us to get into the apartment, but she was very unhelpful and unpleasant.
That's good to hear. Sorry for the trouble I've caused.
Hey, we'll just I mean, it wasn't my case. Langford wasn't my case. But yeah, that's gonna be a thing. That's gonna be a thing. I think we might have. Yeah. Okay. Listen. Yeah, I'll get back to you on the other thing. You have a good rest of your day. Oh boy. All right. Yeah. Bye bye. Anyway, hangs the phone.
Oh no, you're in trouble.
Okay. Let's go back to Ashley.
Okay.
Ashley, what are you researching? Is there anything else you're doing here? And again, this is taking up most of your day. Let's see if I can open up my PDFs again.
I'm like trying to pull up anything on the Libro Secretorium.
Okay.
Like cross-referencing.
Okay. Hey, Foxit, could you please stop crashing?
Pretty please.
It's just one of them days, man. I swear to
all
God,
good.
everything is just breaking down.
Just for declaration purposes, Alvin's going to ask Vessel about the conversation he had with Giordani, just so he knows what they talked about for potential planning later.
I'll fill you in on it.
I just imagine Vessel after he hangs up, he's like, fuck.
And
Right?
Album's like, no wait, this is perfect. We can pin this all on Langford. If there is a forensics investigation on who bombed the building, we could just say he was coming back to destroy evidence. We could just say he took Abigail, and this works out perfectly. And he's like manically mixing chemicals and looking at Vessel, like nodding, like this is great.
You're like inhaling it, like, this smells like bomb.
We're increasing the concern of a New York City cop that knows what we're here to do. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Sorry,
So-
Foxit just does not want to stay open today, and I have all my
That's
shit on
fine.
PDFs.
So then
okay.
we will transition.
Okay. Nothing.
Nada.
Nothing in your FBI database. Nothing.
Well,
Okay.
Okay. I'll give you one more thing.
Lundeen.
Okay. Okay. This does actually come up with some stuff. All right. So FBI databases probably get you access to some. Yeah. Okay. All right. He is a dilettante. He was born in Chicago back in the late 1900s. Looks like at some point he moved to New York. Apparently had a son. He was. You get into some police reports and some government records from New York. That apparently there's two specific stories that pop up. One has to do with a suicide. In 1950, August 30th, 1950, Charles Lundeen, son of Henry Lundeen, apparently hanged himself in the second floor ballroom of their home, the Lundeen house, which was apparently in... and you get kind of an address of it, and it matches up with the McAllister building. April 30th, 1952, Henry M. Lundeen is found dead on the uppermost staircase of their home, having suffered some kind of massive stroke, and apparently he was dressed in strange plastic silver robes and wearing a papier-mâché mask.
When and where was that?
I'm sorry, you're not there.
When and where was that?
When and where was what?
When did Henry Lundeen die?
1952, April 30th, 1952. He was found on the uppermost staircase to the roof of the Lundeen house, which you believe is the same thing because you already knew this, that it was that prior to the McAllister building, it was actually the Lundeen house. It was owned by Henry Lundeen, and apparently it was their home. But on the uppermost staircase to the roof, they found his body. He had suffered some kind of massive stroke, and they found him dressed in strange plastic silver robes and wearing a papier-mâché mask.
Can I cross-reference like plastic silver robes to see if that pops up anywhere else?
It's too broad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, oh my god.
No, I didn't do anything. Okay. We'll kick over then to Fawn. Fawn, who are you going to next?
Next, I'll go to Mike Post. I think it was Mike.
No, Mike Seaver was
Seaver.
the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Agent for Post.
Yeah, you call around and you do eventually get a home address. And so you show up at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
On a
On
Sunday.
a Sunday. At this guy's home. So Upper East Side, you knock on the door and you see, door opens up, you see a man, Caucasian, probably early 60s, kind of takes a look at you, and he's just like, I don't want any, and he goes to close the door.
I'll just put my foot in the door, and I'll flip out my badge. Agent Fawn, actually, here to ask you just a couple of questions today.
Okay. Couldn't it on a Sunday? Okay.
Crime stops for no one, Jeff.
What kind of questions?
I'm following up on some information regarding an individual that's missing. A neighbor to your client, actually.
I got a lot of clients.
Post, the author? Colorist.
Louis Post. What about him?
Yeah.
Freaking loser. What about him?
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
Very little. I don't know him that well. He was good. He had, promise. He could have been a pretty good artist, but he just dropped off the map. And I got him a couple gigs. No response. Totally left me hanging. Left the writers hanging. And
Any chance this was around March or so of this year?
I don't know. It was this year. I don't remember when. Like, I got like 50 freaking artists that I work for. Okay, so I mean, I don't remember every single one. Maybe if you came during business hours to my office, I could have gone through my files. But hey, you want to come on a Sunday, you come on a Sunday. That's fine. Yeah, but no, he was. I mean, he flaked. But it's freaking New York. He's not the first artist to flake in New York. So whatever.
Understood.
Anything else?
How did you come to connect him to Art Life.
I didn't connect him to Art Life.
Do you know anything about?
I mean, I know the name of the company. Sure, they they help with low affordable housing. Sure. That's fine. Not my business. I don't know anything about it.
Okay. How did you and Mr. Post get connected? Did he just kind of find you in the Yellow Pages?
No, I mean, just he was a young up and coming young kid. That's what I do. Young kids. Every now and then one of them breaks out, and every now and then they flake out, and a lot of the other ones just kind of drift. And he was one of the flakes. Is that it? Because like I got a ball game on, so.
Crit failed my human, just seeing if he's rushed or hiding something.
Do you want to re-roll that?
I failed, sure. It's a 14. I don't know that I'm going to do much
Okay.
better, but yep, I failed worse.
Well, usually in certain situations, yeah. I mean, you can't. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but no, he seems irritated, but he also doesn't seem like he gives a shit about Lewis Post.
Okay. But kind of verifying, he's also seems to have fallen off the map
Yeah, he fell off the map.
as well.
I got him some contracts. He flaked. That looks bad on me. So I as far as I'm concerned, I don't even represent him anymore. Okay? We done?
Understood.
We done?
Enjoy the rest of your...
Closes the door.
Okay. Sunday.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Vessel. Let's go to you. You make it over to the apartment. You got the apartment. You had the building. You go inside. You doing anything?
Yeah, I'm see what's popping here.
Okay.
Maybe
Go
people
inside.
alive.
You walk into the building.
Are people alive?
You walk into the building. Quiet. Don't really hear anything. Don't forget, there's always like stuff to do in Abigail Wright's apartment. There's always the mechanic of searching and stuff like that. So there's always things you can do if you wanted to do that as well. But is there something you wanted to do while you're here? It's quiet when you arrive. No one's here. No one's like wandering the halls or anything like that.
I think I was just gonna plan on chilling in the Abigail's apartment until people showed up.
Okay.
Searching there.
Do some searching.
Okay, roll a search test.
I failed.
We do have extra rerolls. You can reroll it once.
Got lots of rerolls.
Sure, I'll give it a try. Yes, I crit failed.
You crit failed? You crit failed, huh?
We are rolling so well tonight.
I know.
Why? Why can't you just let me open a frickin' PDF, Foxit? Jeez, like, ah.
We're saving all the good rolls for albums.
Jeff's not upset.
Explosives later.
Okay.
That's true.
All right.
That's when we need the good rolls.
And then at this point, like, we'll say it's late afternoon. I think, Chelsea, you've sort of exhausted the patience of the people in the office. Fawn, you said there was one more person you wanted to go see?
Carmen.
Okay. All right. Sorry, this has just been a real shit show of a freaking tech thing tonight. Between Foxit I knew this was going to happen, like, because it was giving me grief all week.
So many notes. So many details.
Okay. So you eventually track down one Carmen Wagner, and you get over to her place, right at dinner time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sunday night, dinner, no problem. No problem. So you knock on the door, and this, 40-something Caucasian woman. Easy to see, nothing too obvious. Just kind of plain, blended to the background. But she opens the door. She looks at you. She's got. Looks like she's. You can smell the smoke and stuff as if she's cooking. Her hair's a little frazzled.
Yes, Ms. Wagner.
Yeah. Do I know you?
Agent Fawn with FBI, and I'll show her my badge.
Oh, FBI. Well,
Yeah. Do you mind if
you normally
we
make
step
house
inside?
calls on is it evenings or is it...
Well, sometimes when you're working on something, you just work through till you're done. We can step inside though, if that would be. Looks like you're in the middle of something. I don't mind talking while you cook.
Okay, that's fine. Come on in. Don't mind the mess. Can I get you something? Some drink? Chicken cutlet?
Water would be great. Appreciate it. Won't take up too much of your time.
Sure.
I understand that you work as, I believe it's an editor for Roger Karoom.
Yeah, you see her kind of like hesitate a bit. Yeah. Yeah, sort of.
Okay. Following up because he's neighbors of an individual who's gone missing, so I'm trying to track down all leads.
Okay.
I understand missing person and all.
Okay. You think he's involved?
We're just checking out all the neighbors in the area. Have you been in contact with Roger lately?
No, not recently. No. No, I haven't. I haven't really talked to him. For a couple months now. He's kind of made my life a little difficult. I'll tell you. And yeah, he was just he's calling me a bunch, and I think he had a crush on me, and whatever. You have to deal with those types of things sometimes. But he's kind of an awkward man. But then he kind of just dropped off the map. He left me this weird phone message, and yeah, I haven't heard from him since, and he owes me drafts. He missed 2 conventions that I had booked appearances for him at. They're supposed Night Sea Part 3. We're still waiting on it, and it's overdue. So yeah, it's.
You mentioned a message.
Strange message. Yeah, you can call it. You can call it that.
Any chance do you save that on the old answering machine?
Yeah, I did actually. This is kind of creeped me out, and he was. You ever get the feeling when you're around something, just in case, anyway, and she kind of like wipes her hands down and like, 1 second, and so she like kind of ruffles around in what looks like some kind of like drawer in the kitchen. There's like a junk drawer. There's a bunch of different things. Yeah. And she pulls out a small tape, and she goes over to like her stereo, and she puts it in, pushes the cassette up, and presses play. And yeah, it's a little staticky at first, but then you hear like the beep, and then you hear the voice of Roger Karoon, the sort of slight southern accent to it, like Carmen, listen, I don't know if this is getting through, but listen, I found something. It's amazing. The book, it's just incredible. It's so fucking inspiring. It's okay. I'm working on something new with it. Something to do with the change. You'll see. I love it. You're gonna love it. The way things are now, the way the building, I don't know, is. I can't explain it. The upstairs, they just go on and on. The doors, they keep on going. It's like a freaking Borges story. It's incredible. It's like a surreal novel. It's really hard to describe. The others warned me. They told me don't call, but here I am. I just wanted to say goodbye. Don't come by anymore. I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be moving upstairs soon to live with the others. Abby and the others are waiting. I gotta go. I gotta go. Love and kisses. This is Roger Karoon. Bye. And then click.
Well, that's a mighty interesting message. Did you forward that to the authorities or anyone? When he kind of...
Why?
Did he kind of lose contact with you after that?
Yeah, that was the last I heard from him.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, why? I mean, I don't know why I would contact the authorities about that. I mean, do you think I
Restraining
should have
order.
contacted the authorities?
Oh, well, he kind of leaves you this very awkward, odd message, and then
He's
doesn't
always
keep his commitments and whatnot.
he's hit on me. You know, and honestly, like weird calls, like yeah, they happen. You know, so
Would you mind if I take that tape as part of my investigation?
yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Did he? Was the book that he was writing? Did he often kind of communicate with you about the book that he was writing about?
Well, he was writing Night Sea Part 3. I don't know what this other... I assume he's talking about. I don't know what changes. I don't know. He didn't tell me anything more. That's it. You heard... That's the last thing I heard from him.
Yeah, that's what if you took it that he was referring to the Night Sea. That he was.
What else would he
working
be referring to? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he might have a side project. I don't know. Sometimes that happens. You know, sometimes fantasy writers, science fiction writers, when they're working on a series for a really long time, sometimes it's hard to get that last one out. You know, the next one or something. I don't know. Kind of gets distracted.
on? Well, I appreciate this. This hadn't come up in information that the police had shared, so I appreciate taking the.
Well, no,
the
yeah.
tape.
I mean, they didn't. No one really asked me about it. But
That makes sense. I apologize for interrupting your Sunday.
oh yeah, you know, it was just going to be a, you know, a night of, you know, watching. I don't know, whatever's on TV tonight. I don't even know what's on TV on a Sunday, and then early to bed, a couple crank calls, and then up in the morning, and there I go. So
Thank you for your time, Ms. Wagner.
okay, yeah. You have a good night, I guess. Should I be worried at all?
I don't think I did a human with her. I just want to do a. Nope, I failed.
Are you plus 20 it? I keep telling you to plus 20 it.
Oh yeah. I would have passed that time.
Yeah, you don't get any sense that she's keeping anything from you. She seems a little like, a little frazzled, but not like, she doesn't seem dishonest. I think that looks like she's just sort of like anxious about something.
On my way out the door, I might kind of do the Columbo thing and just turn around and be like, "Oh, I meant to ask you, are you connected in any way to Art Life, the owners of that building?"
No. I'm sorry. I mean, I know who they are, but you live there, but that's about it.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Good night. And she closes the door.
Take the tape and go back to the apartment.
Okay. Chelsea, were you doing anything else before on your way back to the McAllister building?
So as I'm leaving, I want to stop and grab like a newspaper to see like what plays are currently active. Like,
okay. You do not see the one that you researched.
okay.
I don't have a list of what plays were running on and off Broadway in 1995. That's not in my
I'm
prep
hoping
notes.
Phantom of the Opera's in there somewhere.
I think Cats was still going in 95.
I was gonna say Cats.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd pull
definitely.
that yet. Maybe a Les Mis. I'm not sure. But no, you don't see any Les Royaux en Juin.
Okay. In the classifieds or something in the back, there's no like art house or like college showing. Like, where would I get maybe like information for that?
I mean, I think what you're doing makes sense. Looking, kind of looking in the arts and leisure section. It is
Yeah.
a Sunday, so you probably have that in kind of the larger releases. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff like that on college campuses, but no, you don't see anything. Like, no titles pop to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Vessel, you're still in the apartment. You get one more. You get 2 a day. So if you want to do another search roll, you're welcome to it.
Okay, I'll shoot another one.
Yeah. Oh
Hey,
boy.
great success this time.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy. All
That's
right.
the kind of roll we want.
Okay. As you are digging through, you notice something kind of catches your eye because you have a military background, right? Like you have military science, correct? You notice what looks like a walkie-talkie that kind of stands out to you. It's like but it's not like a modern walkie-talkie. It's not something like you could buy at like a Radio Shack or something like that. It's definitely older. It's like camo green. What's your military science at?
60.
60? Oh yeah, easily. You catch it, and it looks like what's called an SCR 300 walkie-talkie that was used by Ally forces in World War II. And it looks to be, and other than the fact that it's like adhered to the wall, and you're worried about pulling it off, it might break it, damaging it. But it looks to be in otherwise excellent condition. And you notice that there's like a little serial number on the side. And with your 60% military science, you would know that that's the type of thing that you could potentially like track back to like who it was assigned to at some point. Like those are the type of things that if you were to go to like the National Archives or something, you might be able to look that serial number up. But yeah, and it looks to be functioning as you're kind of messing around with it. Your finger kind of just hits it a little bit, and you can tell like a little static comes out, and somehow it's still functioning. When you're like writing down like the way you kind of contort your hand to kind of write down the serial number, it goes on and static comes on, and then suddenly you hear a voice come through, a monotone male voice that says like single words, like one at a time, and then there's like a very calm and patient space until another one comes up. India, Moon, Dallin, Exeter, Seer, Daimonion.
Does just keep going on and on.
And it just keeps going on
See
and
if
on.
I
But
can
it's
hop in.
go ahead.
Be like, this is Agent Vessel. Is anyone on the other side? Over.
And like it pauses as you speak, and then the monotone just continues over and over.
I'll try to make sense of whatever it's saying. Like,
Yeah, you can write a bunch of different stuff now, but there's like static, and then it gets interrupted with static here and there. You're not sure if it's responding to you or anything, but it's always like one word at a time.
It's not like the phonetic kind of thing where they're trying to like spell something out.
You start playing that out, like you kind of look at the first letter. It doesn't seem to be. Breaks down a little bit, kicks back in, cycles back through.
oh, so it cycles back with the same message, or?
No, it just like it
Just
keeps kind of going. You take down a list of words here and there. Yeah, but it just kind of goes on for a while.
Yeah, I'll just leave it on until something happens.
Okay. At a certain point, like you'll hear like it'll just go back to static. Celery stalks at night.
I'll just shut it off and just leave it there for someone to take out.
Okay. Can you roll a sand test for me, please?
Sand. Success.
Okay. I tell you, man, you feel creepy. Just something about this room, and like you've been here a couple hours all by yourself. It's just between everything that went on and just like everything around that you're looking at. This just is not a place that even the esteemed hostage negotiator, Agent Vessel, feels the heebie-jeebies in this room. Okay. Agent Owl. Got a bunch of bombs. You feel pretty good about it. Roll 2d6s.
I got an 8.
You feel like you have 8 functional bombs.
Okay. Looking at the blueprints that we have of the ground floor and the first floor of the McAllister building, would I be able to work out like with 8 bomb? I feel like 8 bombs is enough to do enough damage that the building would not be standing. Like I would know where to place all 8 of them across the 2 floors so that the damage is widespread enough.
Roll forensics.
Sure thing. First, I gotta find it. There it is. Yeah, success.
Yeah, I mean, you feel there's a series of places where you think maximum destruction and least amount of blowback onto like neighboring buildings.
Perfect. Also, when I was picking up all the supplies, would it be fair to say that I got like those like painter coveralls that you can wear to protect your clothes whenever you're painting? Would I have picked one of those up?
Sure.
Okay. So then, Agent Album's going to be at the McAllister building, and he's going to also, because he's wanting this shit to go down, is going to have just chemicals that he's just pouring into like the carpet and like just wearing this coverall to kind of look like, oh, it's like his story will be what's it called? Where you kill insects. I can't think of the word.
You're an exterminator.
Exterminator.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Okay. Roll a luck test.
All right. Just a
You're
D100.
fumigating
Just a
for bed
D100,
bugs.
50-50 base. It should be a button on your character sheet.
54.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
I also do I notice Vessel messing with the walkie-talkie in Abigail's room?
We could say it. Yeah, at a certain point.
I'll point it out when you arrive.
Yeah, at a certain point you can join him, and yeah, you can point it out at that point.
I was about to, I'll just say to Vessel, I'm like, if you want anything from this, I'm like, ethanol will dissolve this epoxy so that you can take it off safely. And I've got ethanol in the van.
Yeah, if you just take this off real quick, that'd be great.
Dump some ethanol on some stuff.
Okay. All right. So you dump some ethanol. Okay, and you pull it off the wall. You hear the same kind of monotone, like a static bursts of like single words just pop out of nowhere, and then like it's static again, and then it's like functioning kind of strange and kind of spotty.
I can't remember. Would my cryptology help at all with any noticing any patterns, or maybe seeing if these words mean anything? Since it's secure communication.
Okay. What's your cryptology at?
50.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't notice anything like the connections between them. You look for you try to look for patterns in terms of like number of letters, first letter, last letter, order, pacing. None of that seems to have any sort of pattern to it. It almost seems random.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't. You're pretty confident there's not like some kind of hidden message in this. It's just you're not sure what the hell it is, or whose voice this is, or where the other transmission is coming from. Anything like that.
I toss it to Vessel and I'm like, your pen pal, I think, isn't making any sense, but here's your toy.
Okay. And we'll say at this point, both Chelsea and Fawn also show up at the apartment. You see Album wearing coveralls. When you wander into the building, it smells like chemicals. You see Vessel fiddling with a walkie-talkie, old school walkie-talkie. You see Album. He's got a bag with stuff in it that looks probably like bombs. Sure. But yeah, you're all in Abigail Wright's apartment.
I'm just gonna if we left any evidence here, I'm just gonna collect this up and be like, so should I head outside, or is this good to breathe?
And Album will kind of look at Chelsea and then say, I guess I didn't think about that. No, this is terrible to breathe. This will probably affect you in a few years, but there's nothing we can do about it now. We got a job to do.
All right, well, I hopefully want to have kids one day, so maybe I'll head outside.
Alvin just shakes his head like, kids, what?
I should also note, by the way, it's now like 7-something. It's dark again. By the time everybody shows. By the time Fawn was probably the last to show. Just interrupted dinner.
Yeah, so before Chelsea leaves, would Album have noticed that it's nighttime?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. There's windows.
Okay. So before Chelsea leaves, Album was kind of point at Chelsea and say stop, and then because he was like, last time I went anywhere by myself in this building when it was dark out, things didn't go so well. And then he starts looking at everybody, and he's like, we don't go anywhere without each other. I don't care if it's 2 at a time, 3. No one's by themselves. And then goes back to dumping chemicals everywhere.
Okay.
There's still people in this building, so maybe we should get them out of here.
And Album's like, how do we know that they're not a part of it? They haven't been very helpful so far.
And I'll say, if it's okay, that Fawn arrived.
Yeah, that's what I said. You're the
Yeah,
last one to
you're right.
arrive.
Yeah. So when I get there, I'll just kind of share that I, checked in with the contacts that we knew outside, and the residents in the building aren't keeping up with any outside contacts. They've completely fallen off. They're not contacting their agent, their editor. They stopped paying rent to Art Life. They're not interacting with the outside world in any way.
And because Album has such a low human int, he's just gonna look at Fawn and be like, yeah, that's why the utilities haven't been paid. I already found this. Is that what you spent all day doing? They haven't been paying utilities. Of course they haven't been in contact with the outside world. He's just dumping chemicals, and he's like, God, this smells good.
I assume at some point you go to other floors, right? Or are you just dumping them
Yeah.
all here in Abigail's
I mean, for the sake
apartment?
of other floors, but for the sake of this conversation, we'll say that
Okay.
he was walking around this room listening
Okay.
to people talk.
No,
Okay.
there's still people. There's civvies. They just got caught up in this mess. We gotta get them out of here.
Vessel, if they haven't been in contact with anybody. Oh, also, does Fawn play that recording, or does she give the tape to Chelsea to play for us? Since you
Yeah.
have that?
So I'll see if there's a tape player. I'll probably say,
Yeah, we'll say
Album,
she has a
do you have a
tape.
tape player in your van? Can we all go out in your van and listen to this recording? You got to hear this. This is just wild.
Throws the can on the ground. Fine.
Do you have a track?
Specifically said that because you said the van wasn't sacred, so it didn't just.
Okay.
roll.
You go out to the alleyway. Couple buildings down, where you've been leaving your van, and you you play the tape. They hear it. They all hear it. You hear the same thing.
So not to freak you guys out, but that book I was looking at, well, it's not like a book, it's a play. And then after the play, people die. And when I was searching the apartment and I found that script, and then you guys with your weird fortune cookies with the play about Vessel, and then federal agents arrive, are we currently in the play?
No, that's ridiculous. When I was up in the floors all by myself, I walked onto a stage where there was a bunch of puppets watching me.
What?
How could you be? That doesn't make any sense, Chelsea. Come on. If we're in a play, why would I experience being in a play and then being in another play? That's too. But this isn't. That movie hasn't been released yet. This isn't. You can't play within a play.
Oh God.
So this Rogers guy is the book writer, right?
Roger Caroon is the sci-fi writer. Yeah.
That explains when we were in his room, he had hairs. He could be looking in those doors and where they lead to know where he's been.
Yeah.
Or seeing if somebody else
Thank
is
you, Captain
entering.
Karayan.
Either way, Vessel, when you were saying earlier that these are civvies, I have a hard time agreeing with you there. It seems like That Thomas fellow doesn't really think there's anything wrong, and Karun's clearly all about going upstairs. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate upstairs. We're gonna get rid of it.
And like Karun in this message mentioned finding a book. And like, I don't know if you guys were listening to me when I was rambling earlier about how Darabandi found a book that was like just placed in front of his thing. Like, this could be really, really bad. So we should probably see if Karun's in his house right now. And like, maybe not nicely ask to search his home and look for that fucking book.
As long as you do it together, but I've got a job to do. Album's shaking 2 cans at once at you.
Okay, well, don't blow this up while we're inside. Okay?
And Fawn will turn to Vessel and say, did you figure out if there was something weird with Van Fitz's apartment?
Oh no, I wasn't going alone.
No.
So you have your gun,
try that
right? But fuck, now you have to be careful. If you shoot your gun, you can light the whole place up because Captain, Agent Album over here couldn't wait to start pouring chemicals.
That's ridiculous. The bullet wouldn't cause any issues. It would be if the flare of the gunfire or the gunpowder was near enough of the chemicals or the vapors. It's very. It's probably fine.
So Fawn's like getting out of the van. Like, thanks for the
chemistry lesson.
Thanks for the chemistry lesson. Are you going to be okay if we go inside and chat with those other two? Album?
You should come with us.
You're just going to come with me to finish my work in the building.
When
This
we're
stuff's
done.
not going to set itself. All right.
When we're done, we'll go.
When we get swallowed by this building and we're going to be torn apart by the walls and the windows
then
and
you
the
can
doors.
end it and kill us all. It's fine.
I
Let's
won't
help
have the
Album.
option to.
I'll help Album with a science experiment, science fair fun, and you guys do the...
We'll meet up with you.
Chemical romance.
That's great. To Twitch. I love that. That's fantastic. Apple's chemical romance. Oh my god, the Grass Couch, thank you for the raid.
What's up?
We are playing Delta Green. They're talking about blowing up a building with people in it, so this should be fun. Yeah.
It's kosher.
It's totally fine. It's legit. It's part of
It's
your
justified.
job. It is. Even if it's not justified, it's fun. Okay, so as far as I understand, we've got 2 people. We got Fawn and Album who are laying more chemicals down in the building in preparation for placing explosives to destroy it.
Yep.
Operation Big Bang. Yep.
It's Operation Album's Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
It's been decided.
Chelsea and Vessel are talking to people again?
We're gonna like shake down Karun.
Okay, you're gonna go up to Rogers. Okay, sounds good. So the 2 of you head up to Roger Karun, the science fiction author, and you knock on the door. You know where he's at. Easy peasy. He opens the door. And can I help you?
So we spoke with your editor. And you left her a rather concerning message, so I just have some questions for you about that.
Is it? Do we have to do it now? Can we do it some other time?
It's an urgent matter.
Okay. Fine. Fine. What do you want to know?
I do feel like this is something we should probably do privately.
He looks very put out. He looks he kind of leans out into the hallway, looks to the left, looks to the right. Kind of has this paranoid feel to him. I've got writing to do, but make it quick. Make it quick. And then he comes in. Yeah, and like you've been in the room before. It's a shithole. Like it's a mess, right? And he's got a different set of clothes on, but like you can tell that he's trying to dress nice, but like he's all like disheveled. It's like he's got like a really nice like sweater on and pants, but they're untucked. Like they don't match. It looks like he's just a really bad dresser. And yeah, the place is just utterly disgusting. It stinks. There's laundry all over the place. The sink's filled with cups and bowls. smells of stale sweat. It's all that kind of stuff. And you can see that there's a there's like a desk that the only place that's even remotely clean is this one like writing desk where he's got a word processor just sitting up there, and that's it. And he's just kind of standing there in the middle of his apartment. Like, what is it?
I'm not going to beat around the bush. I need the book that you were talking about on your message. What's the book that you found?
What are you talking about?
The book that suddenly gave you brand new great ideas of what you're going to write about next before you said goodbye.
You could see he gets a very... What are you talking...
Can I do a human in roll?
Yeah, go ahead.
We have reroll still.
I will reroll.
No, you totally believe him. You're like, why did we ever suspect this guy? He's so sweet. Okay, so... oh God, yeah. He's fidgety. He's nervous. And yeah, he's... What book? What I don't even know what book you're talking about.
Either you can give me this book, or I'm going to search your apartment until I find the book.
I don't have a book. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Vessel?
Rummage through his things while...
Whoa. I said you can come in. I didn't say you could search my apartment.
It's no longer a question of whether we're going to search the apartment. I need the book.
Okay, that's it. I think the two of you should leave.
I think you should leave. When's the last time you got out?
This is my apartment. I'm fine where I'm at.
You do realize that you're going to be evicted soon, correct?
Can you just leave, please? Please, just leave right now. Right now, leave. And you see him just getting like really, really angry. Like, anytime you reach for something, whether it's a piece of trash or whatever, he's just like, he comes up to you and he's just like swats your hand away from me. Get away! Get away!
And Chelsea's going to turn to Vessel because I know he's the one who has the gun. And
Are you gonna peer pressure him into violence?
I'll
No,
hold him
I
back
just-
for now, so you can search in peace.
okay.
So, you guys have searched the room before, but in terms of like, I mean, like, what is it you're looking for specifically?
I am looking for, or Chelsea would be looking for, like, either similar things to what Dear Bondi found, like maybe like a weird red leather book,
Okay.
or a
The
copy
play.
of the play, or to see if maybe he's the person who's been writing the play pages that we've been finding.
Okay. How would you like to go about deciphering the last thing you said?
The play pages?
Yeah.
I would probably go like his desk area that's immaculate and like the only thing that's actually clean, and start there.
Okay. The one where he's got his word processor.
Yeah.
Okay. The minute you move over in that direction, and get towards his word processor, he lunges at you,
Okay, I'm
like
gonna
tackling
punch
you. So let's do dex scores. So what's your dex?
My dex score is only 10%.
Same.
Or 10.
Yeah, same. Okay. Let's just do just roll D100, pick high or low.
High.
Okay, good. 100. Okay.
Damn it.
He's
Why
gonna
did
go
I
ahead.
roll low?
He's gonna go ahead and he's going to try to just tackle you. He's just gonna try to like come up and like just push you, knock you out of the way as you're kind of going for it. So
Vessel isn't holding him.
he didn't declare that, so we're not going to retcon that. No.
Okay. Okay.
No, I thought that
he did.
Oh,
That's
did you
why
I
really?
thought
was
he said.
confused.
I thought he said I would hold
did
him down
declare
so
I
she
would
could.
hold him back so she can search in peace.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, in that case, he will try to struggle and he will try to push you off of him. What's your dex score?
It's only
Physical
10.
tab.
Okay. All right. How about this? Roll unarmed. Roll unarmed and see if you can kind of keep him.
Crit success.
Okay, crit success. Yeah, I'll give it to you. You have him, and he's trying his best he can to break free. And Chelsea, yeah, you're able to get over to the word processor, and
Okay.
and Vessel, he is thrashing around in your hands. Chelsea, I'll let you do one thing, and then I'm gonna give him a chance to try to break. So, what do you want to do?
So what do I see?
Okay, so when you see it, it's not a computer, it's a word processor, right? But
Yeah.
it's one of like it's not a mechanical keyboard or a typewriter or anything like that. But it's got a very small like display, and when you try to access it, it is password protected.
Can I try and get in? My computer science is 70.
Absolutely, roll computer science.
Success.
Okay. You start messing around and you look around briefly, and you over to your left, you see he's got this shelf on the wall that's just got all of his Night Sea novels. And you just, on a whim, Night Sea, and opens up. Just like that.
Oh, and here I thought it'd be Wagner because he's creepy.
Yeah. Oh god, that would have been a good one too. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. And the minute you do that, he at that point he's going to attempt to try to break out of the hold. That's a 4. So he's going to push himself free from Vessel at this point. Vessel, what are you doing? You can see that he is kind of broken a bit out of your
Yeah, I'm
out
not
of your
gonna
grasp.
tackle him down and just restrain him.
All right. Okay. You just want to physically do it. You just want to try to physically tackle him. All right. Good. Unarmed combat. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to have that on private. Not bad.
Success.
Okay. God, we have never done combat, have we? I just realized.
No, and I'm really
No.
scared
I
because
just realized we
everything
have
says in
never
Delta
done
Green,
combat.
don't do combat.
Okay. Yeah, I just
He's a
realized.
geek. How much can a book writer even? He can't lift.
Have you seen Jeff?
What?
Yeah, he's
He
a nerd.
rows.
Just call me a nerd.
I did.
You son of a bitch. You're a nerd.
Are
You
you
work for
trying to
Google
die
and you
in
have a
our campaign?
ponytail.
That's true.
Who's the nerd
yeah.
now?
Fair counterpoint.
Okay. I think he's going to try to dodge you. So he's going to roll dodge, which is a 30. So I got to roll 30 or under. 69. That's the best roll.
Nice.
Nice.
So he kills the two of you, and you have to run the agents. That's the best roll for him. He tries to dodge out of the way. He tries to do an Olay move, like you're the bull charging at him, and he tries to do a quick little Barry Sanders pirouette. And no, you just tackle him and just slam him right back into the into a wall. Some of the books fall down on top of his head. I'll tell you what. Roll a d4 for damage.
4.
Oh my god, max damage.
Very nice, man. Okay, and he is he yelps out in pain. Chelsea, what are you doing? You see them struggling as Vessel has just thrust him against this book, but Karun shows no signs of backing down at this point. He's
Can I try and help knock him out?
okay.
Like Karun?
How would you like to do this?
Punch him in the temple.
You just want to walk up and just try to punch him? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you using a fist with rings on it?
Okay.
no.
Roll unarmed. And I was going to say you can go ahead and take plus 20 since he's sort of being held in place.
So then I would pass.
Okay, roll a d4.
We're gonna
check
kill
this.
him. 1.
Oh.
He is not. You do punch him. You get him in but you get him kind of in the cheek as opposed to in the temple, and so he's just a bit. He's still kind of
Dazed.
thrashing around a bit. But he is going to attempt to just sort of elbow right into the neck of Vessel. He's just going to bring down his elbow right into the back of your neck. Unarmed combat is 40 for him, so I need 40 or less. That's good. 1d4. This is going to be -1. I think yours should be -1 as well. Take 1 point of damage, Vessel, as he gets you in the back of his neck. At the back of the neck.
Wouldn't it
He,
be 0?
I
You said
think
1d4 minus 1?
I think it's a minimum of 1. Like I said, we've never done
okay.
combat,
Yeah.
so I don't remember the rules because
Yeah.
we've been playing for
Yeah.
a month and
That's
we've
fair.
never done this. So, but whatever, it's fine. It's 1 point of damage. I think you guys are going to be okay. Vessel, what do you want to do on your turn? The two of you are locked in a close combat right next to his bookcase.
Yeah, I'll just try to choke him, get him unconscious.
Go for it. Unarmed combat again.
Unarmed. Success again.
Okay, D4 -1.
1.
Do the same rule. So you're reaching out, and he's Chelsea, what would you like to do?
While he's choking him out, I'm gonna go back to the terminal.
You're just gonna leave him alone?
I like how you walk over to punch him and then
Yeah,
you're like,
that's why I was wondering. You walk over, punch him, and then you walk away. Like the fight's not
no,
over.
Okay, you're right. What I'll do is I'll help. I'm like, yeah, he's got it.
You just establish dominance and walk away.
I'll take Vessel's handcuffs and I'll help handcuff Karun's hands behind his back.
Oh, okay. Sure. Your hostage rescue team. Yeah, he would have. I have seen no reason why he wouldn't have. Well, he wouldn't have handcuffs. Okay. Let's say. Let's just do Dex times 5.
Okay, so you want
See
me
if
to
you
do,
can do that.
just click my Dex. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, you
Failure.
grab the I think we have rerolls left, so you can do one reroll if you want. But this is your only one for the scene, so choose it wisely if you want it.
Did I thought I already re-rolled in the scene. I did. I got a crit failure. For the terminal
on the human
search.
edge.
Yeah.
It was on the. I think it was on the human edge.
Yeah, it was on the human edge.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you managed to get the handcuffs out of the the little pocket that Vessel has them in, but you just can't get them to lock around his wrists in time.
I put on lotion or something earlier.
All right, Vessel. This guy, he's in his 40s, but he's surprisingly fighting back here against two FBI agents. You have a gun. I do want to remind you, but I think you're the only one in the party that does. But what would you like to do? You want to shoot Chelsea? No witnesses, right?
No, I'm just looking to restrain this guy, so I'll just work with the handcuffs she pulled out of me.
Okay. If that's the case, then Dex times 5. And yeah, just try to get him to sort of like get the handcuffs on him, and then maybe like lock him to like a sconce or something on the wall or whatever.
Yeah, success.
Or
we like
maybe a
handcuff like
radiator.
his like hand to his leg, his ankle, like a pig.
Okay.
Hog tie.
Oh, I was gonna say like there's like a radiator like next on the
okay.
wall, and you get like one on the wrist and then one on the radiator, and now he's just like kind of thrashing against it in great anger. You step away, and he's like still flailing a bit, knocking over some stuff on his bookcases. He's bleeding from a couple different punches the punch that he took from Chelsea. His hair is all disheveled at this point. Stuff's on the ground in front of him. His books have fallen over. The bookcase, one of the shelves, is cracked in half. But Chelsea, yeah, he doesn't seem to be capable of stopping you at this point.
Okay, yeah, then I'm gonna search the terminal.
Okay. And he is cursing at you left and right, spitting, and he just looks apoplectically mad. But you start digging into his computer, and you notice from the directory, it's very crude, but he's got 64 files. And each file, it looks like a title of probably a short story of some kind. What the Other Hand did, Smeagol's Rule, a bunch of others. Looks like fantasy sci-fi type stories. Okay.
I would start with the most recently accessed.
Okay. So you just pick the one at the very top. And you notice when you open it up, you notice that the file doesn't actually contain a story. When you start reading through it, it's a single letter typed over and over again with no breaks or returns.
Okay, and then I'm gonna open the next file.
Same thing, different letter.
So what was the first letter?
Let's not do it that way. There's 64 files.
Oh, okay.
What's your forensics at?
I don't have forensics.
Do you have like cryptology or something?
I have criminology 60, computer science 70.
I have forensics, so I can take a look.
Okay. I'll say between the two of you, you guys note that it's date order, and you start piecing the letters together. And this takes a little time, and he is like pulling at the radiator on the wall. It doesn't seem to budge. But you do eventually discern a message.
Okay.
Smooth is the hand that makes the world, and steady is the mind that grasps it. There's also one other file.
Okay.
Titled,
I'll open it.
Titled Night Floors.
Oh no. Okay.
When you open it up, it is laid out in play format. And you can say that it's got Night Floors. The author is Roger Caroon.
Fuck. I'm gonna scroll down to like the last thing he wrote.
Okay. It looks like it's incomplete, but yeah, I mean, as you're just kind of scanning, it certainly looks like a play. It's got scenes, acts, characters. There's something about it that doesn't. It feels almost. Knowing what he does right and kind of looking at what you're reading here, it doesn't. There's something about it that just sort of feels off to you. It's almost like it feels almost rehearsed in a way. It's like when you're a teacher and you're reading someone's writing and you're like, huh, I've read their writing before. This doesn't really sound like them. Kind of that feel. You have something that could delete a computer. You have bombs.
Is there something that I can do to like try and recognize what I?
You don't recognize it.
Oh, okay.
You 100% don't recognize it, but like just kind of comparing it to his own writing, like the simple flipping through, like the cadence is a little different. Words, the word choice is a little different. Vocabulary is a little different. It just doesn't sound like him. It doesn't sound like his voice. But it has his name as the author to it.
Chelsea's gonna turn to Vessel and say we need to find out who the true author is of this.
And how do you suppose we do that?
Interrogate?
Vessel, you're a hostage negotiator. You take one look at Roger Caroon and the way he's flailing around, apoplectic, the look in his eyes, his face, the hatred coming through him, and how he constantly is screaming, like, I am the author, I am the author, I am the author. Like, you're not sure if this is the type of guy who's in a state
to be, yeah,
to be forthcoming, especially if you guys just kind of pushed your way into his home, didn't leave when he asked, and then he was in a perfectly fine mood until you kind of forced your way and started touching all of his stuff, and then things kind of went south. Okay. Is there anything you want to do in here? And what are you doing with him?
I say we leave him handcuffed.
Okay. What do you
as
do?
Long as
what do you do with his word processor?
Is somebody asking about it?
No, I'm asking about it. Like, what are you doing? Are you just gonna leave it here? There's no flash drive type things. You can just put a thumb drive in and get it.
So just get a box of floppy disks.
Sure, there is, Jeff. It's called a floppy drive.
1995. Yeah,
Did word
but we were moving
processors
on
have
to
floppy
we were
drives?
moving on to CDs at that point. We were transitioning
Yeah.
to CDs.
Office space, the thing.
office space. Maybe well, do we want to, or do we want to keep it?
You tell me.
What good has come?
We're supposed to
after
keep the
play?
stuff contained, so yeah, you're right. So we're just gonna. Do I want to piss him off more and like beat the shit out of it? No, we're gonna blow the building up.
Okay. So you leave him handcuffed to the radiator. You leave his word processor here. Is this correct?
Is there ways to delete the file? Like,
yeah, you can delete stuff.
like he can't make it so use my computer science so he can't recover it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that advanced back then.
Yeah. You're
To be able to
pretty
recover
certain
it.
you can delete it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no cloud
There's no
storage.
hardcore recovery.
I just
or
I wanna
hard
make
drive
sure-
recovery for a word
yeah.
processor. There might be. We're gonna get laughed at some point later. Like, you idiot young people. Because I'm a young person too.
Yeah, totally, guys.
You are. You're 23.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Nerd.
So
Okay.
yeah.
By the
Okay.
way, do Album and Fawn hear this guy screaming at all, or is it?
I would say yeah. At a certain point, because I don't know. I'm not sure what floor you guys are on when you're putting your bombs and stuff around. But yeah, at a certain point, I would say you hear a racket because it is kind of quiet in the building.
Okay.
Does anybody else come out to take a look at that? Like, do any of the neighbors come out?
No.
Album's gonna look at Fawn and say, "Should we see what that's about?"
As long as I don't hear Chelsea or Vessel calling for help, I'd say they got it covered. This is what they do. It's their skill set. Getting some answers.
Fair enough.
Thinks we just beat the shit out of people for fun.
Chelsea's skill set is more liaisoning. It's fine. Okay, so
The
so
official law enforcement people.
I do want an answer to this. Are you leaving him handcuffed? Are you deleting, destroying, or taking with you the word processor?
I am. We are leaving him handcuffed. Yes, to
Okay.
the radiator.
Sounds good. The word processor?
I'll take it.
Okay. You take the word processor with you. You
Yeah.
leave the room. Okay. Gotcha. You go back out into the hallway. And actually, I know you got to get going. We already went over, so we should probably stop, I think, at this point. 20 after 8 for us, anyway, on our time. So, yeah, let's close it down then for tonight.
Oh, cliffhanger with the building smelling like chemicals.
I've
and
got an arsonist
like-
toolkit.
Yeah,
we
we had
got
a lot of those
healed
the tech
computer.
problems with the PDF and with especially with Forge early on was just or Foundry, I should say, or for one of the two, kind of screwed us up a little bit, but we tried to catch up. Considering that we have already placed a bunch of flammable liquid on the ground and explosive, I have a feeling that next week we're finishing.
Something's going big.
Something, maybe, I don't know.
It will hopefully be spicy.
Yeah. So, okay, you guys can do your rolls for your skills that you failed if you failed any skill rolls. And when I say fail, I mean fail. Like if you re-rolled it and then succeeded, you don't get the mark
Yes, I
fail.
don't get my human in. Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay. Okay. So then, yeah, let's close it down then. So let's see. Friday nights we play Delta Green. So if you're in the channel, thank you for hanging out. Those of you who did, thank you for those of you who threw some bits and some subs. Thank you for the raid, Grouch Couch. We really appreciate it. What are we doing on next thing we're doing on Monday? We're going to be over on the Free League Publishing channel, 9 p.m. Central, where we're playing Things from the Flood, continuing our Into the Dirt campaign that featured sentient meat in using a car to communicate with teenagers. So you should watch that. It's fun.
Oh, I stumbled when you guys were doing that.
It was so much fun. I think I deserve an Oscar for my acting.
It was very good.
For like 20 minutes, I was answering yes or no questions with vroom, vroom, vroom. That's great. Let's see, what else are we doing? Every other Monday, back on our own channel, we play Alien. You can catch that stuff over on YouTube as well if you want to catch up. We are in a second chapter of a campaign, which is like a series of cinematics. You can watch them in any order. We're in our second currently. A bunch of Weyland-Yutani scientists exploring a weird moon. And then starting next Saturday, a few of us that you see on the screen are going to be playing some Worlds Without Number, playing in kind of our kind of weird mishmash of Stars Without Number and Worlds Without Number. So mostly Worlds Without Number with some flavor from Stars Without Number kind of thrown in. So you can catch that next Saturday. That's going to be May 1st, I believe. And that's about it. I feel like we should probably raid somebody because that's what happened to us. So we should probably raid and keep it going.
Pay forward.
Thank you.
Defenders are up.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching, players. Thank you for having fun, and thanks to everybody for kind of bearing with us through some weird technical glitches earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and throw us on the end screen, start the raid, hang out for a minute, and I think our friends over at Defenders of Cobalt are playing some Deadlands. So good night, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.